thank you for attending our webinar. And first of all, thank you PaaS Systems for help in organization of this webinar. So today at this webinar, we will go through main features of Jelastic platform, and we will try to describe the most important like workflow scenarios that we believe will be useful for developers and for some admin engineers. And so let me first of all introduce who will present this webinar. So my name Ruslan Sinitsky. I am CEO of Jelastic and founder. So my career started from National Space Agency of Ukraine, and after that I worked in different kind of startups and companies, outsourcing companies. And later I decided to do something special, like Jelastic actually. And Dmitry Lazarenko is Director of Business Development. Dmitry is almost at the beginning of our project, and he has a lot of experience in large distributed systems for enterprises, and he worked in different positions in our company. And so Dmitry is one of the most experienced team member of our team, actually. So agenda for this webinar pretty tight. We will try to go through each feature, but let's see what we can afford at this webinar. So we will describe automatic vertical and horizontal scaling, clustered solutions with multi-nodes, havability, cloning of environments, custom and Jelastic SSL certificates, how to install them in a couple of clicks. We will describe shortly our garbage collector, how it helps to reduce resource usage, specifically for Java applications. We will describe how to add custom cartridges to the platform. Also, we will cover some features of marketplace and SSH access to containers, to applications. So, in short overview of our platform. Jelastic is a hybrid solution. It's a platform as a service together with infrastructure as a service. So it contains two useful layers for companies. Platform as a service simplifies complex development processes, and infrastructure as a service gives flexibility because sometimes platform as a service does not cover some specific functionality. And our solution helps to work with innovations to create like new innovative applications, and also you can bring legacy applications without code change, and it's possible to scale such kind of applications. We will describe later how to do it. So main features of Jelastic. First of all, Jelastic is a polyglot platform. Jelastic supports all runtimes today. Java, we started from Java actually. Jelastic is like Java Elastic. We started from Java, and later we added PHP, Ruby, Python, Node.js, and .NET is coming at the end of this year. So a very important point, Jelastic does not provide any kind of restrictions. There are no limits. You can upload any standard applications, and you can write on file system if you want. We do not recommend, of course, it, but if your application is designed in old way, you can do it. So you can attach public IP addresses, you can upload custom SSL files, and many other things that other similar that other platform as a services do not provide. So next important point is application lifecycle management. Jelastic provides specific features for simplification of application lifecycle management. So you can have several environments for dev, test, production, and you can easily migrate application between these environments. And very important to emphasize that we are using containers from the beginning. From the first days of our platform, we are using containers. We have huge experience in containers area. And at these days, I think everybody heard about Dockers, about containers, and so on. So we are working with containers at the beginning. It's very important to understand, because I believe containers were designed specifically for platform as a service. People just recently realized the power of containers. Another important point is scalability. Jelastic provides automatical scalability for different kinds of applications. Jelastic provides vertical scalability and horizontal scalability. We will show how it works today. And another one important that Jelastic is a hybrid solution. It can be installed on public cloud, so hosting service providers can provide services for small medium businesses, for startups in public cloud. Enterprise companies can install Jelastic on-premise, private cloud, and finally Jelastic can provide like hybrid solution. You can build easy migration between public and private clouds, so you can host some private data in private and non-private data in public cloud. So next point that I would like to emphasize, that Jelastic has very strong technical expertise. It was not easy to bring on the board like icons of the industry, and today we are working together with father of Java, James Gosling, father of PHP, Rasmus Lerdorf, father of MySQL, Michael Vedenius, and Igor Sisoyev, founder of Nginx, Mark Zbikowski, former Microsoft architect, and David Blenis, founder of Apache Tomei. And they are not only like advisors, like formal advisors. They help Jelastic to improve technology. So, for example, Rasmus Lerdorf, he helps to review PHP implementations. So he provides different kind of expertise. So Monty helps with databases. Mark Zbikowski helps with our architecture and with our dev processes. James Gosling helps with like positioning, like marketing and business. So Igor Sisoyev helped a lot with Nginx. We are using a lot of Nginx inside. So, and David helps with Java enterprise applications. So next, I think we can go to demo, and at this webinar we will show a demo of one panel. We have two panels, one of them for dev guys, another one for ops guys. Today we will show demo for dev guys. And so let's open our dashboard and let's go through our agenda. So dashboard. Yep. So dashboard. Short overview of the dashboard. Dashboard is used mostly for preparation of complex environment for applications. As you know, like each application needs some kind of resources, different configurations, different databases, application service, load balancing, and so on. So you can use this dashboard to create specific environment for your specific applications. Also, dashboard provides like marketplace. It helps for non-technical guys to get installed complex environment by one click. So you can install very complex cluster with Fresco, for example, or cluster it highly available WordPress and so on. So, and let's go through each point of our agenda, and I give Dmitry to explain main scenarios.
Okay, thank you, Ruslan, for the introduction, and so let's begin. So we will start from showing how Jelastic helps to scale your application, how it helps to scale it both vertically and horizontally. At first, we will create environment with Tomcat 7 server, and we will enable continuous integration right in the cloud. So enable Maven build node right in the cloud. So we will name Jelastic environment simply after scaling demo. And so now we just need to select the required components. So we selected Tomcat, and we choose vertical scalability, so it can be scaled up to 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, and added Maven, and just pressing create button and waiting while our environment is creating. It will take about 1 or 2 minutes. So Jelastic allows you to create, meanwhile, Jelastic allows you to create complex environments on Java, PHP, Ruby, Node.js, Python, and even in .NET very soon. And you can create multiple levels for your environment, so you can create both load balancer level, application server level, and for Java, a lot of Java application services are available, starting from simple like Tomcat and Jetty, ending by Glassfish or JBoss, and different Java versions, Java 6, Java 7, and Java 8. Vast databases, SQL databases, NoSQL databases, caching service, and many others. So meanwhile, our environment has been created, and now so we want to show how to deploy to Jelastic using JIT. For that, we have Maven node, and now we just adding project for the build. So let's name this project test load. And so we have prepared a special demo application which allocates, which may allocate a lot of CPU, a lot of RAM, or consume a lot of network resources. And we have placed it into the GitHub. So let me copy the URL and paste into this URL field. So in case of private repositories, you can also add your login and password, and also if you use key authentication, it's also possible to enable authentication by keys. But GitHub is pretty open, so I just need to have a URL of my repository. And now I press add button, and after that Jelastic added GitHub project to this environment, and now I have several options: just to build it using Maven, or build and deploy to my Tomcat server. I will choose the last option. So pressing build and deploy, and at this moment Jelastic fetches Git fetch sources from Git, so we can see the logs, and we can see that now we are on the stage of the fetching sources, but very soon Jelastic will launch Maven and build our project. Let's wait for some time. And after that, Maven will download some certificates from central repository and build. And if everything is okay, it will deploy this project using special Maven, Jelastic Maven plugin right to this Tomcat instance. So it's still in progress, and actually we have prepared some sample environment before this demo, and we can show very important thing, the automatical vertical scaling of Java environments. So that environment was prepared previously, and it contains also Tomcat, Nginx as load balancer, and Maven as built-in node. And after environment creation, you can see the statistics information about consumption of your application. And at this tab, you see that you see real consumption of your application and virtual machines that used for running your cloud application. And you see the spikes, it's spiked by CPU, and the more important, it's spike by your RAM. And it's possible to see that RAM consumption increases and decreases depending on the time, depending on the load. This is very important. This graph shows that Jelastic implements automatical vertical scaling up and down. So Jelastic is able to scale your application, your Java virtual machine automatically up and down depending on the current load. For that, we have we have implemented special garbage collection agent, and we learned on how to tune Java virtual machine to enable this automatical vertical scaling without any interruptions of your app. And that helps you in case of public cloud hosting. That helps you to economy on the spending of on hosting of your application, and that also helps you in case of you use you own your private cloud, and that helps you to place more applications, more workloads on the same hardware machines count. So it's really interesting and helpful technology. So back into our Maven building. So we see that Jelastic has built the artifacts, built the application, and now it already built our app. And deployed it right to Jelastic environment. And after that, we can just open this environment into the web browser. So I'm pressing button open in the browser, and I able to see custom page. And now we will simulate a lot of memory allocation. So for that, we have made special button. I pressed this button, and now Jelastic will, this application will allocate a lot of resources, a lot of physical RAM, and we can see how it's how RAM consumption changes dynamically. So the discretization period is about 20 seconds. And the most interesting that we will do now is to configure automatical vertical scaling of our application to handle this spike loads, to handle the situations when a lot of requests are coming to your application, or a lot of big workloads start being executed on your cloud environment. For that, we have implemented in our last release, we have implemented automatic horizontal scaling feature that allows you to enable automatical horizontal scaling of your application depending on CPU consumption or RAM consumption up and down automatically depending on the triggers that you can configure. So it works like Jelastic. Please add one more node for my application in case of load of RAM during last 5 minutes increases 80% or 90%. So we can adjust these settings. And and vice versa. Jelastic, please remove nodes of my Tomcat server in case of load of RAM or CPU starts less than 35%. And in these cases, so we just need to apply the setting and wait for a couple of minutes when application will start scaling. And in these cases, Jelastic of course will send notification to you, so you can enable notifications via emails, and you can also observe this horizontal scaling events after they happen. So we have special console log for that. And in addition, you can configure as an alternative way to automatic horizontal scaling, you can configure automatic load alerts for each of your components. So you can configure it for Tomcat or for database. So Jelastic will send you email alerts if the consumption or usage of any parameter like RAM, CPU, or storage capacity or inode count increases some predefined by you limit. It's really helpful to monitor your application even when you sleep. So it helps you to solve solve issues right after they happen or before that. So now we are waiting for the automatic horizontal scaling, and I want to show you our next scenario, which is important to handle. Also important to handle spike loads, and important to handle successful harbor effect in Russia or Christmas sales in Europe and US. So starting from last release, we have added a feature which is called multi-nodes. It means that you can enable horizontal scaling not only for your application servers like it was before, but also for each component of each layer. So you can scale horizontally also your load balancer, and in this case Jelastic will configure automatic replication of engines configuration, automatic live replication, and it will be possible to configure DNS load balancing and configure failover in case of one of the virtual machines like load balancer or application server files. In addition, you can enable that also for caching server, for database server, what we use, so it can be enabled for MySQL or PostgreSQL or MongoDB. It depends on your needs. And even you can create a lot of bare virtual machines. So we call them Elastic VPS. They are bare virtual machines with CentOS installed. So it's really a helpful feature, and we will try to create that configuration so each component is scaled twice. And let's do that. So test HA cluster. We just need to name this environment.
And very important to emphasize, Jelastic provides anti-affinity feature. So each component from the same layer, for example, from application server layer or from databases, these nodes, like virtual nodes, they will be placed on different hardware nodes. So Jelastic makes sure that they are not on the same hardware node. In case of hardware failure or something else, your application will continue to work. So we call it like anti-affinity feature. So and when application scales automatically, like automatic horizontal scaling, how it works? Jelastic clones one like master virtual node and migrate it to another hardware node. So anti-affinity works automatically for horizontal scaling and for multi-clustered environments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and anti-affinity also helps you to guarantee that all your applications get all required resources. Because for some kind of applications which are critical, how to say, binded to real CPUs, for example, Hadoop workloads, it's really important to have access to all physical CPUs. And Jelastic solves that automatically from the beginning. So as we can see, this environment has been created with multiple nodes, and after that we can deploy or reconfigure it as we want. Another important scenario that we want to show to you right on this demo is to how Jelastic can be extendable, how a new middleware stack may appear and may be used for all the users that use Jelastic. So as you can see, we support a lot of middleware stacks, application service, databases, caching service, load balancers, and they are not hard-coded. They can be added dynamically without Jelastic platform updates, so they can be added dynamically via single clicks. So it's really possible. To do that, we have implemented support of OpenShift cartridges format, and we have made consortium with OpenShift for that. Using this cartridges format, you can extend your middleware to the cloud. It contains two main features. The first is to how provision middleware, how to install it, and the next feature is how to properly manage it in the cloud. Because when we call cloud, it means that your middleware need to be scalable, both vertically and horizontally, and a lot of actions from Lifecycle need to be executed. So we have supported OpenShift cartridges format, and we support open source community and have prepared and adapted a lot of stacks, middleware stacks that were added to Jelastic. Each cartridge, each middleware is placed into the Git repository. So we have our official GitHub repository, and you can easily add your own middlewares within several days or maybe less, and add them to Jelastic after packaging within several minutes. So let me show how it works. So we will add Tomcat 8.0.10. So now you can see that we don't have this version of Tomcat enabled on this demo stage, and we have prepared cartridge with that middleware, and so it contains version 8.0.10. And what I need to do is just add this cartridge definition, its metadata, into the operations panel. So a special panel for the owners of the cloud and for the operations team. And here we have a section called cartridges. And now I just need to press add button, point the URL of cartridge manifest, and Jelastic will parse it, analyze if everything is okay, and if everything is okay, it will add it. And after that, I just need to publish this cartridge and enable it for all users. It's really easy. You just need to press two buttons and wait for some time. Cartridge is still not here, but we just need to refresh our dashboard. And right now we will be able to see this cartridge and use it for new deployments. So yeah, cartridge Tomcat 8.0.10 has been added, and we will create environment using that cartridge. So I just will name it cartridge demo and create. It's really easy and it takes a small portion of time, so it's really helpful thing. Meanwhile, we may back to our environment that we created previously. It was intended to show you how Jelastic scales your application horizontally, automatically, up and down. So as you can see, previously we have created environment with only Tomcat and Maven. And now it also contains Nginx as load balancer, and it also contains two Tomcat servers. So it means that Jelastic has scaled it successfully, and we can see how it did that. So let's back to that environment. Let's back to its automatic horizontal scaling configuration, and we see the load profile. So we see that load was increased, and we see that we see in logs that Jelastic have added more nodes because load by RAM increased 79%. And very soon we will see how Jelastic will scale it down up to one Tomcat node because the load has stopped, and we also see that RAM consumption also decreased. So it means that Jelastic automatical vertical scaling for JVM works properly. And very soon we'll be able to see how it scales down.
Dmitry, can you open this tab again? I think we need to explain one important point here about load graphics. So as you can see, load did not reach 79%, but it's not real because in reality it reached out. This graphic shows like average usage across the clustered environment, the clustered layer. For example, now we have 2 Tomcats, so in average it's less, but when it was only 1, it's crossed the upper limit, 79%. So just want to clarify this point. So scalability works according to average load of the group of virtual nodes, of the group of one layer, for example, application server layer.
Mm-hmm.
So just wanted to make it clear. So yeah, and let's wait about 5 minutes. We will see how it scales down.
Sure. Meanwhile, our environment with Tomcat 8.0.10 cartridge has been created, and now we are able to perform some interesting key scenarios, like in deployment of sample application. So we have sample application which shows you special web page, and now so I may upload it via URL. So for that I need to have it locally or available whenever in the internet, or another case, if I have G2SVN repository, I can deploy it via G2SVN. Or if I develop my application in IDE like Eclipse or NetBeans or IntelliJ IDEA, I can deploy my application right via IDE using Jelastic plugins for that IDEs. So now we will choose the most simplest way. So we have prepared and uploaded sample application. It's called Hello World, as everything starts called in programming world. So I select the installation package, I select the environment I want to deploy, and just I need to point the context where I need to deploy my application. So by default I use root context, but I can type any of them. And now I I state on the root context and press deploy button. And Jelastic will initiate deployment into the Tomcat server, and it takes couple of seconds, so it's really easy. And after that, we will show that deployment was successfully completed, and we will show really interesting scenario is that is implemented in Jelastic. It's a complex environment colony. So in this scenario, Jelastic allows you to clone the whole environment of the whole environment, even if it consists a lot of nodes like load balancers, a lot of application servers interconnect with load balancer databases or Maven. So Jelastic is able to clone both environment topology and also data of virtual machines, and also its clones and rebinds configuration of load balancers for newly created application servers. So using this, let's train on that on the complex environment. So we have complex environment with 2 Tomcat servers, with 2 load balancers, and with 2 MySQLs. So using this button, Jelastic will clone my app with all of the components, and I may implement different cases with DevOps, like testing how my application can be updated, test update patches, or test rollback patches, or whatever, or perform cloning of my pre-production or staging environments to test it properly using QATM. So that's a really powerful tool that is used by most of our users, and it helps you to implement properly continuous delivery and continuous integration practices.
Yep. So let me add a couple of things here as well. I'm sorry, Dmitry, for interruption.
Okay.
So actually cloning takes a little bit longer because what we do, so we clone each container. and we migrated from one hardware node to another hardware node. Just remember about our anti-affinity. So yeah, so it will take a little longer, but at the end you will have almost the same environment, like with the same the structure, with the same data inside, with the same deployed application. And you can use it, like for example, for if you have a production environment, you can clone it, and you can deploy new version of your application into cloned environment, and you can test it if everything is good. You can finally swap traffic between these two environments. So it helps to implement application lifecycle management and to deploy applications without downtime. Yes, and I think Dmitry, deploy so, Hello World, you can check tab.
I can check, but
I think you can check like cartridge demo, Tomcat. You can have tab action.
It's
close to deployment panel. You can open that.
Yep. So, okay. Just wait for a couple of seconds. So we have another feature that it's easy to implement via Jelastic, and it's hard to implement hands-on. So one of the most useful scenarios in application deployment and deployment of production applications, it's enabling HTTPS access to your application. So it's really difficult and unobvious on how to enable that for different application services. So you need to have a lot of skills and practice how to do that. In Jelastic, we automate that scenario, and so we have enabled automatic adding of HTTPS to your cloud environments. So we have special item that enables it. It calls SSL, and as you can see, so we require to have public IPv4 address for entry point of your cloud environment, and now we will enable it. So we have enabled public IPv4 address on load balancer, and let's press apply button. It will take a small portion of time, and after that we'll be able to bind custom SSL certificates who are binded to second level domain name to Jelastic environment, and it's really easy and takes 3 steps. So let's wait for a couple of seconds. By default, all the Jelastic environments are accessible via third level or fourth level domain names. So by default, they are accessible via shared distributed entry point. But you can enable access via dedicated entry point, and you can enable access for each of the components like application server or database, right, via public IPv4 address. And for application service, it means that you can debug your applications remotely in the cloud. So Jelastic have added IPv4 address for our environment, and now we switch to the configuration UI, and we have special UI for that. So to enable custom HTTPS custom SSL access, we need to have 3 keys, 3 files. For environment, we have prepared them previously, so we have issued SSL certificate, and now we need to upload server key, intermediate certificate, and domain certificate. All of them we have. So let's start from server key. Next is intermediate certificate, cert, and the last one is domain certificate. So just upload it and press save, and now we can test it. Of course, we can bind real domain name for this cloud environment, and repression of DNS cache takes some time. Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes more than 1 day, but we have workaround. So we have Jelastic shows us public IPv4 address for the entry point, and I will just sorry. I will just put this external IP address into my hosts file. So it's really simple.
It's
and
just some kind of workaround, yeah, so just to speed up the demo.
Yeah, saving, and so the domain name, second level domain name is SSL test.jelastic.com. We will just open it. So that's SSL test, and enable HTTPS here. Yep. It's the same JTest, but accessible via HTTPS, and you can see that certificate has been successfully binded. This domain is valid, and your application uses encryption, so everything works properly. And now, so next important scenarios, the next important features that we have added to Jelastic since last release, it's database replication. Database replication for the most popular databases. So we have prepared special packages using our cloud scripted format, which enables replication for MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, or MongoDB. And we are trying to increase the list of supported databases really fast. So we have prepared such packages, and users are able to install such packages to their cloud environments and get properly configured, properly replicated database. So this particular package enables MySQL master-slave replication, and we are also working on providing master-master replication for MySQL and PostgreSQL right now. So let's name this environment. So it may be just MySQL replic, some numbers. Press install, and at this moment Jelastic will create an environment only with 2 MySQL nodes, and after that it will place each of the nodes on the different hardware machines to enable high availability, and it will configure automatically the master-slave replication. So we can minimize this window and switch, while this environment is created, we can switch to another important scenarios. So Ruslan and I have shown you that we have marketplace, and we have packaged over 250 popular applications to this marketplace, and all of them are available via to install via one click. So it's a really good approach to create and to receive SaaS versions of your popular applications. And so, for example, you can get WordPress or any other applications like Liferay or Magenta installed in a single click within several minutes. It's really easy and fits good for SMBs who want to receive the set of specialized applications like CRM, CMS, or portal, or any other. So it depends on the end. So I will try to install WordPress. It contains Apache node and MySQL node, and Jelastic will install and configure everything. Meanwhile, we see that Jelastic have configured, he created environment for MySQL database application and configured that application. So what we can do now, we can ensure, so let's switch to Jelastic dashboard, we can ensure that everything is configured properly, and in addition we will show you our next important feature, SSH Access. So now you see that MySQL, Jelastic has created environment with two nodes of MySQL. You can access each of them via PHP myadmin. It's really simple, and Jelastic has sent, it's Russian like you. Jelastic has sent dynamically generated password for them to my email. And another option is that we can ensure that replication is configured properly by looking into the SSH. So we have, in the last release, we have added ability to access to your cloud environments via SSH. We support authentication by secure keys. We don't support authentication by password due to security reasons. And you are able, using Jelastic, you are able to access to your cloud environment via special SSH gate or broker. And I just need to open my environment, my SSH console here, and as you can see, Jelastic displays me the list of available environments, and I can drill down into each of them. So now I'm going to access to my MySQL nodes. So I will drill down right to MySQL, and so that it's real SSH, and I can execute commands on behalf of the user that runs particular service. We don't provide the ability to use to access to your PaaS virtual containers on behalf of root users due to some security considerations, but you can access on behalf of root user for bare VDS containers. And so now we will see that replication is configured properly. So I'm connected to MySQL, and I need to find somewhere the password. So as I said before, Jelastic have sent me dynamically generated password, and what I need to do now is to place them. So it takes let's let's wait for. Oh, it's not that. Yeah, that's password. So let's try it one more time.
Slave or master?
I'm a slave. So yeah, and what how we can ensure? So just type a command. Show slave status. And MySQL in this case is, if node is really slave, displays some system information that replication, this slave is configured for that master, so it's in another node with another IP. And what we can do is to log in to another to the second node. It's number 3 in this menu. It's master node, and create some table that should be replicated to the slave node.
Yep, and while Dmitry is creating this table, so you can see how it is easy to travel across environments and across containers without extra authentication. So you authenticate yourself only once, and you can travel across all environments. It's very easy and very useful. Yeah, so actually and very powerful SSH. So now Dmitry is creating table on master.
Yes, I created a table called webinar test replication. I am accessing from master and accessing one more time and logging back to the slave and connecting. Let's connecting to the MySQL. Type use test and show type command show tables. Yeah, and we see that the webinar test application table exists on this particular server. And moreover, you can connect not just via SSH, not just via interactive shell. You can also connect programmatically via direct access for each particular container, and you can connect via your applications or configure your tools like Capistrano or Puppet or Chef to that. And so it's really easy to integrate. And last item that we want to show you is to how enable CS, for your applications. So we have marketplace in Jelastic, and these applications are packaged via our packaging format and via our cloud scripting. And we allow to the customers, to the ISVs, to package your applications to Jelastic and create SaaS versions of your applications. Basically, it looks like your customer comes to your website and he wants to receive the copy or SaaS instance of your application. And in this case, we can help you. So you just need to use our REST API, which allows to execute a lot of high-level and low-level actions. And in addition, you can use our packaging standard, which helps you to automate simply all the steps which correspond to particular application deployment. And let's let's see how easy to do that. So we have prepared PHP scripts that access to Jelastic instance via Jelastic REST API, and we will show. So we have prepared WordPress package, so it's available through the marketplace. So it's available in the Jelastic marketplace, and we will instantiate this package right via Jelastic API. So we will do this into the loop. So we'll create two instances of WordPress package and call name them with prefix WordPress CS. So let's show how it looks. So now I'm running this script and it connects to Jelastic, authenticates on behalf of my user, and starts executing, starts provisioning of each of the WordPress environments. And we can back to Jelastic dashboard, and so let's refresh it and see that new environments start appearing on So the first environment called WordPress CS 6477 is creating. So we create Apache nodes, MySQL node, place them on the different servers, install WordPress, apply initial database dumps, interconnect Apache with MySQL node, and perform some configuration. All of these steps are automated via Jelastic packaging standard. It's pretty simple, and it's easy to implement. So a lot of steps are executed, and after that I will be able, so possibly the first environment is deployed, I'm able to open it and ensure that it's a WordPress. And using this approach, you can provision a lot of instances of your application in the cloud, and moreover, you can execute bulk updates on these instances, so you can update all of the bunch of your cloud instances. You can apply some update patches to particular of them. So it depends on the needs. We have really good and extensive API, and you can use it to provide CS for your solutions, for your cloud solution, and to move your solutions to the cloud and scale them properly via Jelastic.
So in other words, you can automate your repeatable tasks and configurations via the Jelastic cloud scripting. So because many organizations, they're using different kinds of applications, tools, internally, so you can package them, you can upload them into Jelastic, and you can automate all this like complex configurations by this cloud scripting format. It's very useful, and it's very easy actually.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what's the next? I think we have about 5-10 minutes, and we will wait for some questions, because I believe you'll have some questions. So maybe let's show like scale down.
Yep. So we have created previously that environment called autoscaling demo, and we see that Jelastic displays as current consumption in the cloudlets. Cloudlets, it's the equivalent of 128 megabytes of RAM and 200 megahertz of CPU, and it shows that each of the companies uses only one cloudlet. And we see that Tomcat was scaled down, so now we have only one Nginx instance and one Tomcat instance. And we see that load profile of Tomcat by RAM differs on the different moments of time. So the load was really big, so it was, I assume, 100% of the allocated RAM, but load decreased up to 89 megabytes of RAM, so it's almost silent load. And we can back to automatic horizontal scaling. So yeah, it's still enabled, and so the graph is also displayed here. And we can see that Jelastic have scaled our application and twicely removed nodes up to. So it increased it up to 3 and decreased it back to 1.
And I can explain why here like 2 remove nodes, because during the demo when Dmitry added like SSL, so he changed its environment topology, like he added like 1 more node again. So it was not automatically, it was manually, but our system realized, okay, so I have a rule. If load is less than something, so remove node, and it works well.
Yeah, and one important notice for that automatic horizontal scaling, so you can subscribe on different events of your application lifecycle. So you can subscribe on adding more nodes or on reducing the nodes count. It helps you to handle automatical scaling up and down properly, because sometimes you need to reconfigure your application. You need to reconfigure some configuration files when one node adds, or you need to reconfigure it vice versa. If node count decreases, you need to reconfigure and remove the deleted paths. So you can do that. Our cloud scripting format. So you can create subscribers on Java, JavaScript, and PHP, and they will be executed in our service bus, and they will observe the current state of your environment, and they will be executed synchronously on the moments when your application scales up or scales down. So it's really flexible and safe way to handle automatic horizontal scaling.
Yeah. So in other words, you can subscribe your like specific scripts or specific code to cloud events. Like it's like cloud events when something happened with your environment, like some change of environment or some scaling happened. So you can execute your custom scripts. But I believe this topic is for dedicated actually webinar. So
yeah. It's really powerful and provides a lot of opportunities, and yeah, it's really interesting tool. So and we forgot to show one.
Let me explain
a
couple. Can you create create environment?
Cartridge.
Environment. No, just create environment wizard. Yep. So it's very important to understand that we have some specific magic inside. So when you add one more node, for example, in application server layer, we automatically configure load balancing. So we automatically link these nodes to load balancer. And when you add one more load balancer, we automatically configure groups. Like one load balancer can connect to 2 nodes, and another one can connect to another nodes as well. So it's not easy to do manually. You need to spend a lot of time and effort to configure it, and you need to have some specific knowledge. With Jelastic, it's automated. But more, if you want to tweak it, you can do it because we provide access to all configurations files. You can analyze how we do it. If you don't like it, you can tweak it. And moreover, you can create your own, again, as we mentioned, cartridges that will work in your specific way with this automation. And another important thing when you create environment, please open again, create environment topology. For example, for database or for application server, you can change size of your scaling limit of your virtual container limits, and Jelastic automatically tweaks configurations inside of this virtual container. Jelastic knows that, for example, you configure application server, and this application server uses JVM, it's Java-based application server. So Jelastic automatically configure size of heap, Java heap, accordingly to scaling limits. If it's a PHP application, Jelastic automatically configures configurations of PHP server. If it's Ruby or Node.js, the same. And the same with databases. So we tweak and tune some configurations inside accordingly to limits of virtual container. And when you change it, Jelastic will reconfigure it automatically. So you can change it on the fly, like limits. But again, if you want to tweak it, you always have access to these configurations files, and you can tweak it. So it was important to emphasize this, magic inside. Okay, so what else do you want to show, Dmitry? Any else?
We forgot to show SSL configuration, Jelastic SSL configuration. So it tools helps you to configure proper SSL HTTPS access for your environment, even if you don't have external IP for entry point, or even if you don't have second level domain name. So you can enable access via HTTPS for your entry point, and your application will be accessible and traffic will be properly encrypted. So let's show. Your application will be properly encrypted. Give me just a moment. Via Jelastic-based domain name. So it's pretty easy. Let's do it for that environment.
You just made it for another one.
Yep. Okay. I just miss it. Okay, let's enable for that. Cartridge name. And open the browser. Yep. And HTTPS is enabled by default. We use Wildcard certificate of the cloud provider that owns this Jelastic installation, but it helps you to economy on time and spending on the provision your own certificate, and be sure that traffic for your environment is properly encrypted. So
it's good for in public cloud. It's good for dev and test environments. In private cloud, it's good for almost all environments because your applications will work on your SSL, wildcard SSL of your organization. So it's very useful feature. And one more thing, let's show one more thing, and after that we will go to questions. Please show cloned environment because we cloning, and let's just show that we have cloned environment.
Yeah, so the environment has been cloned. So it reproduced the configuration of the original environment. So it contains two MySQL service, two Nginx service, and Tomcat service. And
you can swap track it You can swap traffic. We have specific feature for that, for application lifecycle management. You can bin domain here, and after that you can swap traffic between these environments. Yeah, it helps to implement like zero downtime redeploy. Okay, so I think it's enough for this webinar. Of course we are not able to cover all features of Jelastic during one webinar, so we will, if we have good questions, we will try to organize one more next time. And please ask questions that you have right now. So what was not clear, or what you would like to I don't know, understand deeper, please feel free to ask any questions.
Okay, so we have a list of questions.
I don't see them actually.
Okay, so the first question is, could you please tell me good config for mid-size app using Glassfish 3.12 plus MySQL for about 20 users? So it depends on your on the actual application profile, on the actual load and what to do the application. Minimal requirement for Glassfish, minimal requirement for Glassfish 3 is about it's more than 700 megabytes of RAM, because Glassfish is really a resource-consuming application server, and so it depends. You can you can create account in Jelastic and analyze the consumption, analyze the performance. So it depends on the particular application. But we can talk after this webinar, possibly assist you with that. The second question: how vertical after scaling working related to CPU usage? Your application is not eating much memory, but it's CPU. So you can, the answer is that you can enable automatic horizontal scaling, both for, it depends, the question was about vertical scaling. So let's back to graph of consumption. So we see that in this graph, in the left side of the window, we see that we see the CPU consumption profile, the graph of CPU consumption, and it also differs on the different moments of time. So in case of RAM allocation or some actions, CPU allocation was also very big, and after that the spike fall down. So Jelastic also handles automatically vertical scaling depending on the CPU consumption automatically. And if your application need to be scaled horizontally, it also can be configured into the Jelastic using special triggers. So you can configure automatic horizontal scaling on CPU.
Let me add a little bit here. So
okay.
In short, automatic vertical scaling works automatically actually. So you don't need to do anything. You just need to specify scaling limit. The rest Jelastic will do for you. So you just need to set like limits for scaling. That's all. After that, it will be scaled automatically. Your application will get all needed resources immediately without any delays. So without any delays. It works for RAM and for CPU in the same way actually. And it's you don't need to do anything here.
Okay. Thanks, Ruslan, for the explanation. So, a question from Pavel. Can you please explain Jelastic pricing model?
Pricing model. So I believe the question is for me. So sorry, Dmitry. We have different kind of like as I mentioned, we have different kind of installations: public cloud and private cloud. So in public cloud, it depends on the hosting service provider. So we help our partners around the world. Right now, it's more than 30 countries to launch like public clouds based on Jelastic. And they define pricing, so we do not influence this pricing. So we can suggest them what is like fair pricing for this specific market, but they define the pricing, and it depends on the several things. First of all, on hardware, which is used for Jelastic, because different partners they're using different kind of hardware. For example, today we showed demo on the real production on Elastics. It's our partner from Sweden, and thank you them for this demo. For this demo account, they use very good hardware. Like it's extremely fast hardware disk, and it's extremely good like CPU and RAM configurations. And other partners they use sometimes like less powerful hardware. So it depends on the partner. It's in public cloud. In private cloud, a pricing model works per big hardware nodes. So in general, we have two configurations, like standard and enterprise edition. And standard edition is about $150 per server. Per big server, I mean like from 32 gigabyte of RAM up to 256 gigabyte of RAM. And we do not, so for us it doesn't matter how big is the RAM or CPU. So it's just fixed price per server. Yeah, and enterprise version has much more features. I mean like availability for containers and software-defined storage and so on. And the price is between like $200 per server up to $250 per server. It depends again on your needs. So we need to understand what exactly we need. Just send us what exactly you're looking for. If you're looking for private cloud, it's better to talk to us. If you're looking for public cloud, you can go directly to our website and you can choose different public hosting service providers. And you can sign up for 2 weeks trial, and you can test it, you can play it with it, you can analyze your like budget, how much will it cost for you. It's very easy to go at the end of the day to like billing panel and to check how much resources your application consumes and how much you will pay at the end of the month. So it's pretty easy actually. I hope I answered the question.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question from Sergey. So Sergey is wondering how they can get hands-on experience with Jelastic application being developed in EPAM. So
okay, it's a good question. It's a good question. So right now we are working with EPAM management about educational platform, educational cluster. I believe it can be solved during the next month. We will provide like a cluster for education for free, just for EPAM engineers, and you will be able to analyze deeper technology, our technology from dev panel, from dev dashboard, and also from admin dashboard. So you will be able to analyze how to manage the cluster, like how to see how to handle the load and how to add more hardware inside and so on. So and much more actually features. It's very powerful solution. But I believe during the next months we will be able to install cluster for EPAM engineers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question from Tibor. If one JVM node, for example Tomcat, will hit memory limit and start throwing OOM exception, will balancer handle this situation, stop sending requests there, or restart this node? So
very good question. So it depends on the rule of load balancer. By default, it's round robin. So it's round robin, but you can reconfigure it. You can tweak configuration.
So it's round robin with sticky load balancing. So if one Tomcat server fails, load balancer will not put traffic on this server. So we have that, and we have also feature that enables automatic replication of your Tomcat or G2E servers web sessions. So and load balancer in this case will know about nodes on where this application is performed. So
very good point. I'm sorry, Dmitry. So just remember exactly how it works. So if you configure it availability, can you switch to the screen? So for example here, Jelastic will automatically configure session replication via multicast. And so if, for example, one Tomcat fails, some memory exception, or like out of memory, so load balancer will automatically redirect the request which fails to another Tomcat, but from the same group where session replication is configured. It works automatically. If that one does not work as well, so Jelastic will redirect the request to another group of Tomcats. So yes, it works automatically. We have specific algorithm for that. We can discuss this later. Like you can analyze how it works in details. Actually, you can test it. You can kill your one Tomcat and you can check how it works.
Okay.
Actually, it was very good question. It was very specific good question. Yeah, thank you.
Yep. And next question from Bajan about weakness of Jelastic platform is one. So the current possibly one of the weakness is that we don't provide hypervisors out of the box. They enable, but not provided via Jelastic dashboard. But we are working on that, and soon hypervisor-based VMs will be available. And next one possibly is maybe that we don't support software-defined network right now, but it will be also added very soon. So we will have a really good network management and isolation tools, so you will be able to build both VPNs and virtual private networks, so it also will be visible. So from our point of view, we have some portion of weakness on IaaS layer, but we are trying to improve our position, and very soon we'll have comprehensive IaaS solution along with a very powerful PaaS solution.
Yeah, and I would like to add something here. You know, for many customers, it doesn't matter anymore, like infrastructure as a service layer, so because they don't care about operation system. But some cases they require like hypervisors, yes. So some cases they require hypervisors. And this, for some specific customers, for large enterprise customers, we are working on this layer. Yeah, but anyway, we have like IaaS layer as well in our solution. You can use like Elastic VPS, and it's almost the same like EC2, like from Amazon.
Yeah, and also we add in Windows in .NET support, and it will be possible to, along with Linux-based VMs, virtual containers, will be possible to create multiple Windows-based virtual containers. So,
yeah, from another point of view, we have very good news for all our users. In 1 week, we will announce support of Dockers. So it extends our functionality, our templates significantly, and our implementations will be like the first industry implementations that uses application delivery format from Docker and a very high level of security of containers from parallels. And merge of these solutions is the best combinations right now on the market. Yeah, so if you can analyze other platforms, so what they do with Docker, they run containers inside virtual machines. So, but the whole promise about total cost of ownership, about economy, and so on. So it does not work actually. So you have to create virtual machine, and you need to deploy virtual container inside this virtual machine. So with Jelastic it's different. So we are working again like with the containers at the beginning, and we run them directly on top of bare metal hardware.
Okay. Next question from Tibor. A lot of questions today. If I install MongoDB on VPS not manually, will vertical scaling work for such installation? So actually yes, but it depends on the particular application. So usually database used to reserve a lot of RAM, so for better performance, some buffers, and they scale vertically down very bad by default. We can but VPS nodes also use container virtualization, and they also don't allocate all the RAM that you define when you create this VPS. So it can be scaled up and down automatically. But it also depends on the particular database or application. So it depends on how it scales from scratch out of the box. So it depends on the application. Possibly yes, but yes. You need to check.
Specifically for databases, so there is caching mechanism. So it depends. Yes, so it depends. For application service, vertical scaling works perfect on RAM and CPU. For databases, it works really good on CPU, but on RAM it depends on configuration. So if you configure very big, how to say, like size of cache, and your application, your database does not release it back to operation system, like we can do nothing with here. So yeah, it depends. If you have any experience with this, or if you can help us to improve some kind of behaviors, or to provide different kind of configurations, because what we are going to do in the future, to predefine different specific configurations for the same database. For example, like MongoDB for development, a good scalability, vertical scaling, I mean. And another configuration, for example, MongoDB for production, so where like you don't need release RAMs when you have always high load, so vertical scaling doesn't help here. It depends again on the cases, but any feedback here, or any experience specifically for specific databases will be helpful.
Okay. So next questions from Milena. I will be an user of Cycles. Can I customize it something, or for example add automatic credit cards and checking account payment without trouble? So yes, Cycles is one of the applications that are available via our cloud marketplace. And actually we are placed on the Cycles website as one of the cloud deployment options. And a lot of users of Jelastic are end users of Cycles. So if it's possible, if Cycles, so we don't put any limitations on that. So it's possible to do, everything is possible in Cycles. It's possible to do any actions. Next question from Sebastian. I have a web application using PaaS push notifications, but it doesn't work when I configure SSL. So so we need to analyze it. Specifically, your case, possibly you need to contact to our support team, and they will help you to analyze it. So I assume they will help you to find the cause of this issue. So.
Okay, so Katerina says that like we out of time.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to send to us or to EPAM organizers or to our support team. We will be happy to cover much more like areas to answer more questions. If you have specific requests for the next webinar, please feel free to send your suggestions for the next webinar, and we will be able to cover interesting topics at the next webinar as well. And I want to say thank you again for everybody who joined our webinar today, and thank you again to EPAM Systems for the help with this webinar. Yep, and so if you want to try it, just go directly to jelastic.com, sign up for 2 weeks trial, and please give us your feedback. Thank you so much, everybody.